I'm so excited to make this video because I'm going to share with you what I learned earlier today that completely blew my mind. It's about how Jesus is actually the son of David. And if you don't feel like that's significant right now, that's okay, because by the end of this video, you will see why it's so significant and how it means absolutely everything in our faith, and this Son of David being the actual one that we've all been waiting for, this Messiah, this King, this God in the flesh. So when I'm thinking about Jesus' origins and where he came from, of course I look to both of his parents first. Now we know, according to the Gospel of Luke, that Mary didn't get pregnant by coming together with her husband Joseph. She got pregnant because the Holy Spirit overshadowed her and she miraculously conceived Jesus. So how then is Jesus a descendant of David? Well, the surprising thing that I didn't know, first of all, is that both Mary and Joseph were David's descendants, but not through the same exact line. So David had multiple sons, and we know that Solomon is David's most famous son. He wrote the Proverbs, he wrote the book of Ecclesiastes. We're all familiar with Solomon, and Joseph is a descendant of David through Solomon's kingly royal bloodline. But how would that apply to Jesus if he wasn't actually born of Joseph? Well, under Jewish law in those days, when a man adopted a child, all legal rights were conferred onto that child as though they were actually a blood relative or a blood child. Therefore, even though Jesus wasn't Joseph's blood son, he still inherited all of the legal rights conferred onto him because he was adopted by Joseph. And in fact, he couldn't have rightly been Joseph's blood son because otherwise he would have been cursed and unable to inherit the promise of the kingship, because Jeconiah, he was a descendant of Solomon as well before Joseph. And he was cursed because he was evil. And it was said that none of his descendants would ever sit on the throne of Israel. And so if Jesus actually was the blood son of Joseph, he wouldn't have been able to sit on the throne of Israel as king because he would have been cursed. However, this is so amazing that God the Father didn't miss one detail. Instead of him being blood son of Joseph, he was adopted son. So now he inherited that bloodline, that royal bloodline from David, without the sin and without the curse. Are you not amazed? That is incredible. Secondly, Jesus was actually physically David's descendant as well through Mary. So unlike Joseph, Mary was a descendant of David through Nathan, one of David's other sons. And so obviously there was no royal bloodline flowing through Nathan, but he was still David's son. And so when the time came, obviously, for Jesus to be born, the Father chose Mary, a descendant, a literal blood descendant of David, to host and conceive Jesus. And so it was Mary's DNA that was being used to create Jesus, this miracle, this new life within her, using her features, her likeness. But again, Jesus being completely divine, completely pure of sin, untainted. So when he entered the world, he was completely the son of David, the royal king, the royal heir, and physically David's descendant. I just think it's so amazing how the Lord didn't miss a single detail. Incredible. If Jesus had been Joseph's blood son, the curse would have disqualified him. But because he was born of Mary and only legally connected to Joseph, he's both the rightful king and the sinless son, exactly as God promised from the beginning. So the next time that you read the book of Matthew and you come across that really long genealogy, same thing with the book of Luke, don't just skip over it. That is actual layers of incredible promise and faithfulness from God's end to bring about this promised son and king into the world. I mean, there is nothing in the Bible that is put in there without purpose, whether to teach or reveal who the Lord is. It is absolutely wonderful. I know this video was a little shorter, but I had to share this absolute treasure of information I learned today. We'll dive into more things like this in other videos, but I pray that this blessed you, even though it was short, for you to recognize that the Lord misses nothing. We really have all that we need in Jesus. Pray that this encourages you to draw near to him today and recognize that he is so for you. This truly was the Son of God in the flesh and the Son of David that is going to reign forever. Look into the promises of this heir, this person of David's line that was going to rule. It is amazing. God bless you guys.